Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Resonant Rise. My name is Brink, and today I'm going to cover a couple of things that I've done off camera, and then we're going to do a test, and then we're going to get into a build. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how much time I have to do all of this. But comments were flowing on the last episode with regard to powering this setup. Now, I had tested this setup before in a previous version. I don't remember if it was just the previous version before this one, the Direwolf season, where we had a energy cell feeding RF into a MFSU. This is not an MFSU, it's a transformer, but I believe that I powered an MFSU directly. And that gave me the idea to run an energy cell directly into, now that I think of it, we didn't have mechanism, so it may have been a different series. I'm not sure if it's valid in Direwolf. You can check it out if you'd like. But I did run this setup before with an MFSU, and it worked. And so I wanted to try to see if it would work here with this transformer, and it works fine. The great thing about this setup is that there's no throughput. I've run these machines at full power with 12 overclockers each, and they've really pulled a lot of power out of this device, and this energy cube kept up. It didn't, it kept flickering back and forth, but it didn't drain. So this apparently has no throughput. It doesn't have a bottleneck. It goes straight through from the turbines upstairs. So this setup is going to work perfect. I'd recommend it if you want to try it. This is probably the best way to go. You don't even need to connect a lot of outputs to it. One output is enough to power all of these at full power. Anyway, so I've also made 12 overclockers for each. I just noticed I didn't put two more on this. Probably because I'm waiting for the mass fab. I'm waiting to make the mass fab so that I can connect these scraps into it and produce more UU matter faster. It's just an amplifier. It makes it go a lot faster. Another thing I've done off camera is build up another tier of processors. And we have one making yellorium, another one with uranium, and they're producing quite a bit. I had to increase the salination production, so I built two more salination plants at the salination desert. There is a little problem. We'll get into it in another episode, but this is producing just fine. And it's going into a double of these chemical infusers just to keep up. I just went back and forth with these tanks, measuring it to make sure that we're getting peak optimal levels. So you'll notice that the amount of speed upgrades that I have in each of these machines are at optimal speed to keep up, so that these are always working and full. So these haven't stopped, and the quarry has been stopped for a long time. The problem is that this device and this setup takes so long, and that's the payoff, because this is producing 5 times processing for each ore that it processes. So yeah, it's worth it, definitely worth it. On this side, I've built some machines for automation. And you'll notice that these aren't the typical machines. They're the osmium compressor, the crusher, combiner, and precision sawmill. These are things that I rarely use, but I use these machines mainly for the normal type of processing, the basic processings. And these I did have to put somewhere, so I decided let's use this wall. It's empty, and that's why that's there. We'll get into some other things up here later. But there's some things that I want to do here. And we're going to grab some obsidian. And I probably could grab these. I'll just grab the obsidian. That'll be easier. We're going to need the iridium. And as far as I remember, yeah, it's not simple. I want to build a quantum suit, and it's not going to be simple. It's not the vanilla recipes. So we're going to have to build iridium plates, I believe, if I recall correctly. Let's see if it is quantum. Okay, so they're iridium plates, and they go in this setup here. So I'll have to make a craft for this, and there's some other stuff that needs to be done. We'll need to make a jet and the nano armor full setup, and then we'll have a full suit. That I can do off camera, and then I will bring you back. Alright guys, we're back, and I did the suit. I made the quantum suit, and I just wanted to explain that this quantum suit, especially the helmet, takes a really long time to do. It has a lot of little tiny ingredients like the scuba helmet and the scuba boots for the boots, but this night vision tops them all. This took a while to do, especially these blocks. What was it? The battery box in one of the things. Forget which one it was. I think it might have been this one. No? The bat box. Where was the bat box? I may be confused. You know what it was? Probably the jet. Yeah, there it is. I don't know. It just took a little while to do. Probably because I didn't have the materials already ready, and I had to make some more patterns of things to make. There it is, the bat box itself. But anyway, let's get to it. I want to explain what we're doing today. The Enderium, this Enderium Flex armor set, I've never used it before in another mod pack. This is the first mod pack I'm using it. I've used the Quantum many times, and I've used other armors also. But this particular armor set, I wanted to see how it rates against the quantum suit. So one of the factors is that you need to build an MFSU because you can't charge this any other way. You can't put it, for example, in an energy cell. It won't take. You can't put it in an energetic infuser or anything like that because it those things charge up RF devices, but this is EU. So you need an MFSU or MFE or one of those types, and it'll take a while. Actually, not with this, because my turbine setup is really sending a lot of power here, so this instantly charges. I wish I could show you right now. It goes right away. So aside from it requiring this, another factor that you must keep in mind with comparing these two items is the amount of storage that each has. If we take a look at just the chest plate, the chest plate for the Quantum is 10 million EU. Think of it as 40 million RF. That's what it translates to. The Enderium only holds 1 million RF. But do we care about this number? This number only tells us how much energy is stored in its buffer. It doesn't tell us how much it's protecting. So that number is not going to serve us well. That number, for example, one TNT blast from a Quantum that holds 40 million RF might be 39 million RF. We have to measure how much blast is reduced each time this is used. So what I'm going to do is test each against the blast by getting some materials here. And by the way I'm charging the RF armor is with a wireless that's on the other side of this wall. If we go up, let's see if we go up and then down, we're now on the other side of this wall. The ME system is right there. And here's our wireless charger. So as long as you're within about 20 blocks away from the wireless charger, it can recharge you. And it's right on the other side of this wall. So every time I approach it, it recharges me. So what we're going to do is get some materials. And we're going to give this a test to see which one is stronger and by how much. I'm going to get some levers, and we're probably going to need an atomic disassembler to break away the stones if we make any mistakes with that. And of course, we can't forget the TNT. Let's grab a few, and we'll go, let's go over here on this side. There's some dirty ground here. We can build somewhere around here. Yep. We'll just pull her straight up so it doesn't damage any of the ground. And this should be far enough from the ground. Actually, I want to build up a little bit because that'll hold the TNT. And we'll get rid of this middle block that I accidentally placed. Now the lever, I have the levers on my bar here. I'll just place it on the outside so that it doesn't get damaged by the TNT. And let's go ahead and place one. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Let's try this armor first. Now I'm going to put all the armor on instead of just one piece, because I think that just with one piece I'll die. I don't think it's strong enough to take a full blast. So I'll take all of them and just measure the chest plate. Here we go. We are successfully inside. And let's see what the damage was. We are at 995, 100. Let's try it again, just to make sure that our numbers are going to be correct every time. We'll just run it a couple of times, make sure that it's accurate. We are fully recharged. Let's try it again. Drop the TNT load and fire in the hole. 995, 100 again. So it is accurate. It's an accurate test. I'm going to change the armor now to this. And let's see what we get. Oops. That was not accurate. Let me go recharge. I'll be right back. Alright, I am fully recharged. Let's give it a try again. Now, we are at full on everything. Let's go ahead and put this in. And let's see where we go. 928 million. Let me go recharge. I'll be right back. I am fully recharged, ready for another test. Okay. And we are at 928 again. So let me work out the numbers in RF and I'll be right back to you. Alright, here's the results of the test as I see it. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong. Leave it down in the comments if I miscalculated somewhere. I'd like to know. I don't mind correction, I really don't. So let me know what you think. Now for each blast, the quantum suit took 720,000 RF from me. In other words, it got reduced 720,000 RF each time. On the Enderium, I only lost 5,000 RF. So compare that. 5,000 RF to 720,000 RF. Nearly a million. 750,000. The main factor for me is not that so much, because we do have a large storage on the Quantum, 40 million RF. The main factor for me is the having to come back here and recharge it here every time. One way to simplify it is to always have a second suit, a safety suit, just to have it ready. Instead of having to recharge it, just have it on an armor stand or something like that. And I think that's, for me, the main factor. I come over here and I don't even have to worry about it. Also, the 1 million, I will never see it go down further than maybe 500,000, because it's always recharging, but mainly because it's only dropping 5,000 RF whenever I meet up with a creeper. So I'm going to say that this one's better, but I'd like your guys' opinion. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, we are now ready to start our build. I want to do a little build upstairs, and we're going to have time, but I just want to quickly say that there's construction going on outside my building, so you're going to hear some buzzing in a minute or so. Now, back to the Quantum and the Enderium test that we did. The Quantum went down 720,000 RF each time for each blast. The Enderium went down 5,000 RF each time. That means that we can take I believe it's 50 or 55 creeper blasts each time with a Quantum. That means we can take 200 blasts from a creeper blast each time with the Enderium. So the Enderium would allow me to survive longer with creeper blasts. My hearts weren't affected in each test, so I'm assuming that as long as the shields are up, I should be safe. This is an assumption. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the Enderium can help me survive 200 blasts before the shields are down. Alright, so let's get on with our build. Now, I've already built a mass fab, but I forget that the ID for this is called block matter. It's called a mass fabricator. We're going to place it here and just need a spot. Now here's a little bit of a situation here. The MFSU is right where I need it to be for the mass fab, and I need the wiring. So actually I'm going to move this. Let's see if we can move the MFSU somewhere else. Maybe here. Yeah, this might work. Then I can drop. Oh, but I have to turn it this way. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I'll bring the. Oh, but then it's gonna touch this. Yeah, it won't matter if it touches both. This should be receiving power. It is. So I'll just run it across the two of them. I'll need a glass fiber cable. Let's see. I have a couple here. And there's that construction sound. Alright, we'll put this here. We'll place the glass fiber on the backs of both. That should be fine. And this is receiving power, so this is good. Now, in order to get the scrap to amplify the mass fabricator here, I'm going to need to wire it, but I want to conserve the wiring from the bottom to send out to the Tesseract and back to the what's it called, the ME system. So the bottoms is going to be for exporting only. Let's get rid of this one. And yeah, it'll go to this line here, back into the Tesseract, and back to the ME system. Let's do that real quick. Item conduit. And yeah, that should be good. So this will go straight down. And export or extract always. Alright, now let's see. I haven't really thought this clearly yet. But what do we need here? I just realized we're going to need some kind of an import bus, just like this. But it won't go through this wire here. I may have to rechange or reconfigure where these things go, because I need some space here. I need an export bus into the mass fabricator to send cells. So yeah, let's change some stuff around here. Let's see what we can do. I can always use the third dimension. Let's just change this and this and come out instead to here. Alright, so the energy transformer will be here. The MFSU, where did it go? Did I lose it? It's probably invisible. There it is. And this will go... How shall I do this? Well, the MFSU can go before, actually. It can go before... Oh, but this is facing this way. Okay. So let's turn this so that it's facing this way. MFSU can be upward. And then this can go upward also. Doesn't really matter. So there's the export going out. Is this export? I mean the exit? Or the, see, I don't remember. Is this input or output? I think it has to be reversed. I think this is the input. So it's got to be facing down. I'm not sure. So let's go get a block. I'm going to need some building blocks here. And I'll build upward. Okay. And we'll do this. This should be facing down. I do believe that that's the way to power it. I don't remember the way I had it a second ago. But now we can feed to any one of these sides and they will receive power. Let's see. It is. Okay, so that is working. That is correct. Let's get rid of this pipe. And now we can use an export bus there. With a cell. We won't need any acceleration cards or anything like that. And let's start that. We'll only need one to mark it as an image. I can do it right here actually. And the cell. So this will send all cells here. I'm using ME glass cable. I can continue using that. Grab a few. And wire it across the way. Yeah, we can go straight across. It doesn't matter. Just like this. Alright, so that's going to send all the cells that are in the ME system here. Now it hasn't sent them yet, and I wonder why. Let's see. Are there any cells inside the ME system? There are. So why are they not sending upward? Let's check real quick here. There is. Okay, so it's sending all of them in here. I was expecting them to be over here on this side. Alright, so now to get the scraps from here over to the mass fab, I will need an upgrade, and it's called an ejector upgrade. I did some research how to build it. It's not too expensive. We can do that. We can definitely do that. Ejector upgrade. And we are missing some copper cables. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Alright, there. The cables. It's this guy here. Here it is. So I should have made 100 just to keep them in there. So we will need this. And here's an ejector upgrade. I think we only need one. We don't need a whole lot of speed. It sent it all in one shot. So yeah, it sent it all over to the mass fab, and now this is producing UU matter. But you can tell how much it's going to take. It's going to take a long time to produce UU matter because this isn't even filled. Now when the cell gets filled with 100% UU matter, it's only a little drop. It's like a bucket, I think. A bucket of UU matter. Maybe even a tenth of a bucket. I'm not sure. But the cell will drop here and then will get extracted through the pipes and into our ME system. This is producing just fine. We just want to ensure that we're feeding this with enough power. I just want to see how much drain is being brought down on my storage system. And here's our power storage. It seems to be keeping up. Let's see if I can show you here. Oops. Let's go up here. If I had a way to look at this at the same time, I can't. But if you see the full amount of storage that's in there, there's 8 billion RF. 8 billion, yes. 8,575,000 or 575 million. That 8 billion is not going up or down. It's staying solid. That means that this energy storage is not being affected by the mass fab or any other power system in our base. So it's keeping up just fine. So we haven't produced any yet, but let's see. It doesn't indicate how much UU matter it's created yet, but I notice that this goes up to 100 at times and then goes back down again. So it must be, oh, there it is, okay. 30. That 30 there is the indicator of how much UU matter is in here. That might be 0.3, I don't know. But anyway, guys, I think we've run out of time. I think we've done a lot today. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.